Let's wait for other, but meantime, we will revise for yesterday's another 2 or 3 minutes. So at the same time, they will join too. So yes, Nikhil and Bhavav, good morning. So now yesterday, what we understood, we started with the technology called Docker. What we started? We started with the technology called Docker. Now, if I'm talking about Docker here, Docker works on a technology called containers. If I say Docker, what is Docker here? Docker works on a technology called containers. So what is a container here? Container is nothing but a package of application. We are going to create the package of application, and that package of application will have source code plus library and dependencies. That package of application will have source code plus library and dependencies. So now this container will provide separate and independent, absolute independent environment for application to run. First advantage, and because of containers, we have OS level virtualization as well. Now another question was why container came into the picture? Because of shift from monolithic to microservices. Architect of application shifted from monolithic to microservices. So containerizing microservices will provide separate environment for application to run. Because of that reason, containers came into the market. Then whenever I'm going to talk about containers, so I'm going to create the containers from image. So means a container will be created from the image. And this image we have to save within a registry, and that registry can be your public registry, or that registry can be your private registry. It will be your public registry, and it will be your, or it can be your private registry. So images can be created from images. From the image we are going to create the container. From the image we are going to create the container, and these images we will keep within the registry. We will keep in the registry. If I say public registry name officially maintained by Docker, name is Docker Hub. Or if I says private registry which is maintained by our cloud here, that is Azure, and that is ACR, Azure Container Registry. So this is what we are going to understand. This is what we need to understand. Now here, please remember, in microservices here, if I says in container architect, your image equal to artifact here. What is your package? Your package is your image. Your package is your image. So this is what we need to understand from here. Now we have, as I said, we have an image here. How many images we have? We have three type of images. If I said images, we have three type of images. So first one is official provider image. Second one is sponsored OSS. Third one is authorized provider. So they will, authorized publisher will be there. So they will allow this authorized publisher to publish the image into ACR, Azure Container Registry, not Azure Container Registry, it's in Docker Hub. So from where we are going to take the image? So today we are going to understand basic command line interface to interact with our container. We will understand how to pull the image. We will understand how to run the container. We will understand what we have within the container. So those things we will learn from here. If I'll go to the hub.docker.com, please create one account here. You must have one account. You must have one account in hub.docker.com. If I scroll down here, I can see the images. So these are my pulled images. So there are three here. First one is Docker official image. Second one is verified publisher. Third one is sponsored OSS. So these things we need to understand from here. Now let's explore a little bit more. Now yesterday I shown you what I shown. Yesterday I showed what I showed. So I showed how to create a lab environment on a BM, means how to install Docker on a BM virtual machine, and how to install Docker desktop on this. Right? In both the cases, what we are going to access? We are going to access the terminal. In both the cases, what we are going to access? We are going to access the terminal here. From the terminal, we are going to perform the operation. So what, how that will be? Let me create one normal folder. I am creating one folder on my desktop. What I am saying? I am saying this is my Docker. What I am saying? I am saying this is my Docker folder. So is it compulsory to create this folder? So basically, yes, your choice. So you can. So what I'll do? I'll do a right click here. What I'm doing? I'm opening PowerShell. You can use any terminal. You are a boss here. You can use your on any terminal. You can decide which terminal you are looking for, right? Just confirm me once, please. Font size is okay or not? Font size is okay or not? Just confirm me once, please. Okay, Sundar. No, image. No, this will be repeated here. Listen, because we are going to create the image also, right? And then we are going to run the container also, Sundar. We will go there as well. Okay. So now here, let's understand. So what I'll do, first command will be docker hyphen hyphen version here. If I do a docker hyphen hyphen version, it will give me a docker version, installed version. Which version we installed? 28.3.0. This is my docker version. But another command I have here, I can do a docker hyphen hyphen or a docker, I can do a without version here. It will give me more descriptive information. It will give me more information about the API version, about Go version, about Git commit, about the build. It's giving me more descriptive history. Or I can do a Docker info as well. What I can do? I can do a Docker info. Docker info will give me more information here, right? So it will give me more information. So then what I will do now here. So what I will do here now, if I'll do a Docker images, Docker images will give me a list of images locally. Docker images will give me a list of images. What is saying here? One thing here. If I'm talking about what I want, I need to pull the image from where? Where is my image? My image are in container registry. Where? Inside Docker Hub. So if I'll do a Docker pull, which image I will pull? I will pull an image called Alpine here. Alpine is a lightweight image of Linux based upon Linux. Here you can see Docker image, Alpine Linux image, and now see here size of image. I am talking about entire application. See, Alpine only 5 MB. So now here, if you see here, these are what? These are nothing but these are your. If I see this spotted tag is nothing but these are your version for this image. Tag is nothing but version, right? Whenever you do a Docker, whenever you do a Docker pull Alpine, it will pull by default latest tag. If you want different tag, you can drop down here. Now here, they changed the interface now. You can drop down here, right? But let's understand the logic. First logic is Docker pull Alpine will pull the, what he said? Docker pull Alpine will pull the this here, but he's giving me error here. Now see here, error during connect. Now why it's giving me error here? Because now understand the logic. So this, if I want to run the container, I want to run the container, I need my engine to run. If my engine is not running, so this container, so the Alpine container I am going to create or image I am going to create will not have any host operating system plus hardware. So what I need engine. Who will provide that? Engine will provide. What I need to do now? For this, what I need to do? I need to start the Docker desktop. I just need to double click here. Okay. What Docker desktop will do? Docker desktop will start Docker engine. Now here, can you see what Docker desktop will do? Docker desktop will start the Docker engine. Now Docker engine is a underlying technology that runs a container. Who will run the container? This Docker engine will run the container. If you don't have Docker engine, then you won't be able to run the container. Now let's use this command. Upper arrow will give me previous used command. Docker pull alpine. What I'm pulling? I'm pulling it now here. What I'm saying? Whenever you are pulling an image like this, I'm pulling an image from where? From the registry. I'm pulling image from the registry. Whenever you are pulling an image like this, by default, it will pull the image called latest. And images are in the form of layer by layer. So it will pull in the form of layer by layer, right? Can I justify here what I'm doing? I am doing Docker pull. I am pulling another image called Ubuntu. What I'm doing? I am pulling another image called Ubuntu here. If I want to search out, I can search from here. Ubuntu. Here, there are many Ubuntu version here. I am taking this one. I am taking official image, right? What I am doing? So here, these are a different tag. If you want the latest, this is a latest tag. If you want rolling, this is a rolling tag. If you want noble, this is a noble tag. What I'm saying here, if I do a Docker pull Ubuntu here, now see by default which tag it's pulling? Latest one. And images are in the form of layer by layer. Now see, layer by layer it's taking. Okay? Layer by layer it's taking. Or another one here. What I'll do? I'll do a Docker pull, right? Let me pull a Docker pull here. So let me pull another image here so you can see how how it look like. So let me pull a Python image. Okay? Now see here, it will be in the form of layer by layer. See? To take away. Whenever you are pulling an image, by default, it will pull the latest image and it will pull in the form of layer by layer. Now I am pulling a Python image and this is pulling in the form of layer by layer. Layer by layer. Now what is doing? Is pulling in the form of layer by layer. Now where is pulling? He's pulling from registry to the local. He's pulling from registry to the local here. Okay? Pay attention here. Yes. What I'll do, if I'll go to the Docker images will give me a list of images. What Docker images will do? Docker images will give me a list of images here available locally. Available locally here. What we have? We have Ubuntu image. What is the tag? Latest one. What we have? Python image. Python image will have an image ID. All of them will have image ID. Whenever, so image will have their unique image ID, right? And created. Don't think this is created 3 weeks ago. They have done versioning into this one. They have done slight modification into this one before 3 weeks ago, right? And this is the size of your image. This is the size of your image. So this is what we need to understand from here. But my requirement is, my another requirement is, I don't want latest tag. I don't want latest tag. So what I need to do, if I need a very specific tag, what I'll do here, I'll do a Docker pull alpine here. Then what I will do, I will find out the tag, whichever tag I'm looking for. What? Yes. Yeah. So what we will do, we will find out. What we will do, we will find out here. So what we have, I have this, right? I want some tag. If I'll go to the alpine image, right? So like this, you can search. If you go to the official provider, official image, under official image, you will see alpine. If you want tag, what I want, right now I have latest tag. Right now, my tag is latest. What I want, shall I take 3.22? Right? So what I need to do, I need to write Docker pull Alpine and separated by 3.22. So now which image it will, now here notice one more thing. Again, it will pull in the form of layer by layer. Again, it will pull in the form of layer by layer. Now please take a note. Whichever layer is not present locally, whichever layer is not present locally, it will pull that layer, and all other layer he will take from local itself. Whatever layer we have in local, that layer will be taken from local, and whatever layer we don't have, that layer will be taken from the registry. Okay, that layer will be taken from the registry. So this is what we need to understand. So what we understood, you can change first understanding here. Whenever you are downloading the image, whenever you are pulling the image from registry, it will pull by default latest image. Then second one is images are in the form of layer by layer, it will pull in the form of layer by layer. Third thing, if some layer are present locally, it will take those layer from the local, and whatever layer for that image is not available locally, it will pull that image. Layer, that it will pull that layer, right? If I'll go to the Docker images will give me a list of images. Docker images will give me a list of images here. So this is what we need to understand. So people are saying something. Screen is showing half. Okay. Sir, one side is not visible to me. I don't, it's only for me and all. For us, it's okay. Try with after joining. Now, what about others? What about screen is visible or not? Okay. Screen is fine. Now it's fine. Is it fine? Confirm me once, please. Okay. Yeah, screen is fine, right? This terminal is fine, right? Terminal is fine, I guess, right? Okay. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Now here, let me answer your question. Now here, Docker pull from where? I said Sundar, Docker pull from where? From registry. From where? Docker Hub. From where? From a Docker Hub. Where I am right now? See where I am right now? I'm in hub.docker.com. I'm in Docker Hub. So from where it will pull? It will pull from the registry. Yesterday what I said. Docker Hub is the official registry provided by Docker. So from where by default will be pulled? See, I installed Docker Desktop. I installed Docker Desktop. Why I installed Docker Desktop? Because Docker Desktop will start the Docker engine. Docker engine will provide virtualization. First thing I said. Then second thing I said, Docker Hub is official registry maintained by Docker. So whatever the images we will store here or pre-existed images we have in Docker Hub. There is another ACR. We can use ACR as well. That is another thing. But by default it will be from here. I think Sundar comfortable here. So then what else? So and another thing here, once I did, I think yeah, it's okay. In case of Docker, we do not have any to make. No, we no need to make. Akash, see, you no need to make any service connection because now what we have, this is a environment, because by default it will enable us connectivity here. If you want to sign in, you can sign in. Okay, we don't need service connection here. What do you mean by layer? As I said, base layer will be lightweight OS, then afterward library and dependencies, then afterward source code, all together will make one image. So these images we will create in the form of layer by layer. Understand, these things we will create in the form of layer by layer, right? So where we can see images are in local, inside the here. If you want to see the images where your images are, if you go to the images section here, see your images are in a local. Your images are in a local here, right? Can you see here? It's occupying your local space. Understand? It's occupying your local space. So then what else? So then what else? How to connect to the registry? By default, it will enable the connection. Sundar. Layer by layer. What is layer by layer? Now it's fine. I think you people are Can we keep private images on Docker Hub? We don't want to download others. Yes, we can keep. As I said yesterday, what I said, Mr. Shavan, I said we can keep a public register, we can keep a public image, we can keep private image. You are a boss here. Understand? In the CMD default connectivity, no, not because of CMD. Please understand. In CMD, there is no default connectivity. CMD is just, don't say CMD, because CMD is just a terminal, right? How terminal can provide you connectivity? Docker Desktop will provide you connectivity, because Docker Desktop will start the Docker engine. Basically, Docker engine by default will provide connectivity with the Docker Hub. But if you want to connect to the other public private registry, you have to connect to that, right? That we will learn in future. Sir, here you have installed Ubuntu, Python. Those are software, right? Yes. Yes. Container is nothing but package of software, right? Package of application, right? If I run, that will be my application. You can start building your Python code, right? What is the difference between Docker Desktop and Docker Engine? Docker Desktop is an interface which will help us to install Docker Engine. Docker Engine will provide virtualization with our host. Docker Engine will interact with the kernel of the operating system. So whatever container we are creating, here, those container can be created on a shared OS. It will share host OS here. Now here, these container are where we are creating this container on my host operating system on my laptop. So, right, how many container you can create in one? How many container you can create? If he says in one server or something, or in your host, it will depend upon host capacity, right? It will depend upon your host operating system's capacity. Container, yeah, it interacts with not container engine. Don't say container engine. Containers, because container engine is different, containers are different. Understand? Okay, so this is what. Okay, let me move. Can we say Docker Desktop is like OS? Docker Desktop is, yeah, you can say Docker Desktop is a parallel, means can't say this is operating system. Docker Desktop is not a OS actually. Of course, operating system, it's not operating system, right? But it will provide interface for a Docker. Understand? Yeah, Arman. What I said yesterday. I said what technology is containers. Container engine means Docker engine. We just need engine. Name for this is Docker engine. For container, container engine. For others, other engine. There has to be an engine, right? So this is what. Okay. So here now what I'm saying, let's understand here. Now, so we understood here. Now I am going in complete flow, because complete flow is required here. So what we understood here, images are in the form of, if I want to see the images, if I'll go to the Docker images will give me a list of images. Docker images will give me a list of images. By default, it will download latest image. If you want to put your own tag, what I'll do, Docker pull, I'll do Alpine here. I'm putting a tag of 3. So then only it will pull the descriptive tag or whatever the tag you are entering there. So it will give you a that tag. Docker images will give you a this. Then afterward, again, images are in the form of layer by layer. It will download in the form of layer by layer. If I want to run the container out of image, what I'll do? I'll do a Docker run. What I'll do? I'll do a Docker run here. I'm going to run, suppose I'm going to run a container of Alpine. We have two type of image for Alpine. One is 3, another one is 3.22, another one is latest one. Whenever you are running Alpine image like this, it will run the container. It will run the container. How to check? Docker ps -a. Docker ps -a. What it will give? It will give you a container here. What is saying? This container is created from an image called Alpine. And by default, whenever you are mentioning like this, Docker run Alpine, by default, it will pull the latest tag. By default, this container will be created from the latest image. If you want container to be created from very specific tag, then what you can do, docker pull alpine, you can define a tag here. Suppose I want 3.22, not pull actually. I can do a docker run, not pull, run. Now this container will be created from where? Container will be created from the image called alpine 3.22. Right? Now here it will mention here. Again I am saying image can be created from the name. If you are writing name with the tag, it will take that specific tag. Now container can be created from image ID also. Container can be created from a image ID also. If I do a docker run, what is the image ID here? What is the image ID? This is first two letter is enough. So you no need to write all image ID here. You no need to write all image ID here. If I do a docker run, what I'll do? I'll do a docker run 444. Now see here, what is doing? Right? Is not able to recognize it. Just a second. What is? He's not able to find out this. Right? He's not able to find out this 444. But let's increase one more letter. Right? So what I'm saying? I'm saying 444. I'm putting 0. Right? I'm putting 0 here. Now it will recognize. No. Error response from the D1. Pull access denied for repository do not may require a Docker login. Okay. In this case, what is asking? He's asking me for a Docker login. What is asking? He's asking me for a Docker login actually. Right? Usually 2 letter is more than enough. So now here what I need to log in from my CLI to where? To the registry. Right? Now here waiting for authentication from the provider, but I don't have actually. Right? It will not authenticate. Why? Because I don't have account here. Right? Do I have here? See, I don't have. Right? I'm using default connectivity. But if you need connectivity with your ID or email ID, what do you have to do? You have to write a Docker login. Now here, as soon as you will do a Docker login here, what will happen? As soon as you will do a Docker login here, right? So it will open the browser here. Now see here, browser it will open here. There you have to enter credential of what? Docker Hub. Username and password of a Docker Hub you have to enter. So then only he will allow you to connect to what? This. If you want to come out, Control C. Understand? So which one we won't be able to execute? We won't be able to create a container from the image ID. 2 letter is more than enough. Understood? Then what I'm saying here, next process, right? This is what we understood. Docker ps -a will give me a status of running plus exited container. Docker ps -a will give me a status of running plus exited container. Let me decrease the font size. Now see here, can you see the name? Right? I'm running a container here. What I'll do? I'll do a Docker run. Right? Shall I run Ubuntu container? Right? I'm running a Ubuntu container here. If I'll do a Docker ps -a, so what he's saying? He's saying some different names. Whenever you are creating a container, by default, that container will have a container ID and the image or ID you are creating container from, and this is your shell. And this is your creation time and exited time. And by default, it will allocate one name. So these names are very complicated. Is it possible to rename those? So let's understand what we have. I'll do a Docker rename, right? Whatever this name is, what I'll do? Whatever this name is, what I will do? I'll rename this, right? What I'm doing? Can I say this is my Ubuntu container? I can rename this. If I rename this, if I do a Docker ps -a, so now what we got? We got one renamed containers. But this is little hectic, right? First we are creating a container, then by default there will be a container name, right? So is it possible to create a container with the customized name in the beginning itself, right? Is it possible to create a container with the customized name itself? So what I'll do, I'll do a docker run, right? What I will do, a docker run here, then I'll do a hyphen name. Please remember, this is how you define hyphen name. You can enter space also, you can enter the name. What I'm saying, this is my name of the container, this is my name of the container. You can write like this or you can write like this as well, equal to. What you are doing, I am running a container, I am creating a container. What is the name of container? Ubuntu 554. Ubuntu 554. But from which image? From Ubuntu image. Or if you want to define the tag, you can define a tag as well here. It was some Nobel or something, right? So you can define a tag. So is it possible? So now here, if I'll go to the docker ps hyphen a, now what we got? We got a container. We got a container with the customized name. We got a container with the customized name, right? Fair enough. So this is what we need to understand. Another thing here, let me show you Docker architect now, right? I need to show you people. Yeah, this one is okay. Yeah. Now let's understand the logic, please. Let's understand the logic. So now people will ask you a Docker architect, right? In a beginning stage, one interviewer asked me actually, can you give me the Docker architect? In flow, I gave him Kubernetes architect. Understand? That means you need to listen sometime. And after I came to know, did you ask me Docker architect? Yes. He said like this, yes. Understand? You need to be very careful. Each and every tool will have their own architect, right? First we have a client. Then we have Docker host. Then we have registry. Registry can be public. Registry can be private. You are pulling an image called Alpine. You are pulling an image called Alpine. First request will go to the local, whether that image is available here locally or not. If this image of Alpine is available locally here, then it will give this image to the end user, right? It will display on the terminal this image. If this image with this tag is not available, then it will go to the registry. It will pull that image from the registry. It will pull that image from the registry and it will create a copy here in the local, right? Where? Here. As you can see, it will create a copy here, locally here. As you can see, we have a copy of images here. See, we have this copy here locally, right? Unless you are going to remove this, these images will stay locally. Now you are going to create a container here from this image. You are going to create a container. This container will be created here locally. To create this environment, what we need? We need a engine, because with the help of engine only we are allowed to create this environment. So this is what the Docker architect is. What is a Docker architect? First we have a client. Client will send the requirement to host. If that requirement we have in host, then it will display that to the end user, or otherwise it will take from the registry, right? Client will send request to for one image. If that image is available locally, then it will get image from the local only. If this is not available locally, then it will go to the registry. It will pull or push from the registry. Another thing, if you are downloading now here, I have an image called here. We have a latest image here. We have a latest image. What do you mean by tag? What do you mean by version? Version is nothing but slight modification of a previous build. Can I say slight modification of previous build? So there will be a common layer. There will be a common layer between previous image. If there is a common layer here, those layer will be taken from. If I says those layer are here, those layer are here. So whatever new layer will be, it will be taken from the registry. It will be taken from the registry. This is Docker architect here. Download, please read out, and you should be in a position to explain this. People will expect you to explain this Docker architect. Understand? Client, host, and registry. Client, host, and registry here. This is what we need to understand. Then let's explore a little bit more. So what I said, this is a architect here, right? This is a architect here. Then what I'm doing here, so now here, what process we are doing now? As of now, what we are doing? As of now, we are going to little old stories now, little old ways. First, we are pulling the image, then we are running the container, right? First, we are pulling the image locally, then we are running the container. Then we are running the container. What we have a Docker run command. What we have? We have a Docker run command. Docker run will act as a pull plus run. Docker run will do pull plus run. So you no need to pull the image. Okay. You no need to pull the image. What it will do? It will pull the image plus it will run container out of that. Right? It will pull the image plus it will run container out of that. So it will act as a pull plus run. Can we justify? If I'll go to the Docker images, do we have Redis here? Or do we have Redis here? What is a Redis here, sir? Redis is a, so now here, what is a Redis? You people know what is a Redis? Do you people know what is Redis? MongoDB, MariaDB, PostgreSQL, what these are? Right? This is a data platform for caching. Understand? So now here, and NoSQL database. I want this Redis image. But do I have that image locally? I don't have image locally. What I'll do? Docker run. Right? I'll do a Redis. But can I give a name of the name for this container? Right? What I'll do? Hyphen name equal to. Shall we give Redis? I'm giving some customized name or name. Right? Please remember what is the command? Docker run. Docker run will pull the image first locally, then it will run the container. And that container will be created with this name. And this container will be created from this image. This image. So now here, notice what he's saying. He is unable to find the image locally. Then he will pull from the registry. See, I'm not using pull command. I'm using run directly. Now here, he pulled in the form of layer by layer. But he's running a container out of this. See, this container is running. But there is one problem here. What is the problem? What is the problem here? I will answer all the question at the end. Okay? Listen carefully because I need flow here. Otherwise, you will not understand. So what I'm saying here, my terminal got occupied. Do we have any alternate? I can create a duplicate tab. I have to create a duplicate tab. Understand? So I have to create a duplicate tab here. So what I'll do here in duplicate tab section, what I'll do, if I'll go to the Docker images, it will display me one image called Redis. It will display me one image called Redis. Or if I'll go to the Docker ps-a, it will show me one running container called Redis. It will show me the Redis container here, our own name. But what about this terminal? This terminal got occupied. So if you don't want like this is called running your container in foreground. This is called running your container in foreground. So how I can come out from here? I need to do a control C. What I need to do? I need to do a control C. It will exit. Bye bye. He's saying exit in. Bye bye. But I don't want to run my container in foreground. I want to run my container in background. Now see here, it's running in the foreground. As soon as you will exit from here, your container will be exited. So what is the solution? Do we have some solution? Yes, we have some solution. What we can do? I can do a Docker run, right? What I'm doing? I'm doing a Redis, right? I'm writing some name. What I'm writing? I'm writing a name hyphen name equal to, I'm giving some name for what? I'm giving for Redis. But if you don't want your container to run foreground, you have to write hyphen D. What do you have to write? Hyphen D will run your container in a detached mode. Detached mode means in a background. In a background, and your terminal will not be occupied. So you can perform other tasks here at the same time. What happened here now? See, is displaying me container ID. If I'll go to the Docker PS, see, my container is running. Please remember, Docker PS -a will give me a status of running plus exited container. Docker PS -a will give me a status of running plus exited container, and Docker PS will give me a status of only running container. Docker PS will give me a status of only running container. Now here, this container will run as long as we are not going to stop this. This container will run as long as we are going to stop this. Okay, so this is what, understand, this is what, so this is what we need to understand here. If I do a Docker PS will give me a status of a running container plus a exited container, right? So can I try with another one? So what I'm doing here, I am trying with another one. What I'm trying with another one here. What I'm doing, so Docker images will give me a list of images here. And please remember, don't create many images here. This image is taking space in your local laptop. If your system don't have much, your system's configuration are not good, your system will hang. Your system will hang because now here how much space is taking? 1.4 GB, 12.8. This is what, these are only for image. What about for containers? If you go to the containers here, right now, how much container is also taking a space? So because container is running here, right? So container is taking a space as well. Fair enough. So this is what we need to understand. So let's try with other. So can I do a Docker run -d? Docker run -d name equal to name equal to what I'm doing. If I'm doing Docker run -d name equal to, shall we run Nginx this time? I'm running Nginx here. Docker run -d name equal to Nginx, and I'm running a container of Nginx. What I'm doing, I'm running a container of Nginx. Now here, do we have image? No. It will pull the image, it will run the container of Nginx, right? But it will run in a foreground. It will run in a background, not foreground. We don't have image here. It will pull the image first, and it will pull in the form of layer by layer again, right? It will pull in the form of layer by layer here. So like this. If I do a Docker PS, now we have two container. What do we have? We have two container here, right? So this is what. But there is another thing here. This will not be in all the cases. This now here, if I say is this container will not be running in all the cases. So if you don't want your container to exit, if you don't usually see, if I'll do a now here, what I'll do a Docker run, I'll do a Alpine here. But before that, what I'll do a Docker run Alpine, and I'm doing in detached mode, and I'm writing a name for a container -name equal to I am writing some name. List out the command. Docker run -d hyphen name equal to, what is this? Name of the container. This is a name of the container, and this is what? The image you are creating container from, right? So what I'll do? I'll do like this. What I'll do? Like this. So what I'll do here? Docker ps. Is it running? Is it running? No. What happened to this? Exited at the same time. What happened? Exited at the same time. If you don't want your image to exit at the same time, right? I am saying, Arman, why you're sleeping? Why you're sleeping? I'm saying like this, right? I'm saying like this, why you're sleeping? So I will not let you sleep. Understand? Suppose I am saying you're sleeping. I'll say, why you're sleeping? Why you're sleeping? So basically, what I will do now here, let's notice this command. What I'll do, docker run -d, right? You know detached mode because I need to run. Then what I'll do -it interactive terminal. I will directly interact with the terminal of what? Terminal of the container. I will not let him sleep. Understand? I will not let him sleep. So what I'll do? Exit basically. Right? Docker run -d -it interactive terminal. Then what I'll do? I'll write -name equal to what I'm writing. I'm writing Alpine. You can give your own name. You can give a name here. -name equal to Alpine this. Then docker run -d -it name equal to, then what I'll do? I'll do a Alpine here. Easy. Now here, what I'm doing, see, if I'll do a docker ps here, my container is running, right? Can I do like this? Docker ps. See, my container are running. My container are running. It's not exiting. If you don't want your container to exit, what do you have to write? You have to write -it. And if you want to run container in a foreground, right? -d. Background, right? If you want to run container in the background means behind. It's running in a behind, right? Daemon process, right? System D, right? Daemon process, right? Daemon means background. Understand? Backend process. So backend processes are running, right? Here foreground processes are running. Processes are running in front of you. If processes are running in front of you means your terminal will be occupied, right? So this is what. But do we have any other shortcut to remember, sir? So what we can do here, you can write like this. I'll do a docker run. You can write like this also, dit, but I want you people to type like this. It looks very nice. dit. You can write like this as well, -d -it also, right? You can write like this also. Understand? And you can write this after also. And you can write before this, you can write a name. What I'm writing? I'm creating Alpine. Why are you creating Alpine? Alpine always, sir? Because Alpine is lightweight container. If you are creating heavy container here, your system might hang, right? Your system have limited space. Please remember this. Understand? Docker run -name Alpine. Then what I can do? I can do dit here also. Or if I want to do like this, I can do what I can do. I'll do d here, or I'll do -it here. There is no problem. Means you can. So there is no hierarchical structure to define the command. Understand? So you can write anywhere, wherever you want. Please remember this. But yes, you need to write this. Why we need? You knows. Then what I'm doing? I'm creating Alpine. Shall we create a 3.22? Right? What we are doing now? See what we are doing. If I'll do a Docker ps hyphen, if I'll do a ps, not ps hyphen a. Now see, we created a container with the 5554554. We created a container with the 454. Right? So this is what we created here. Now see. We created this with the this. So fair enough, Docker run this, this, and this. So this is what we did. Understood? Till here, comfortable? Right? Then let me explore little bit more. Now, if I want to, now what I want to now here, these container are running, right? These container are running. If I want to pause this container for some time, can I do that? So what I'll do? I'll do a Docker run. I'll do a Docker pause. I'll pause this container, right? What is the name of the container? Alpine, right? See, right? Is it? So what I'll do? If I'll do a Docker PS here, what happen? Right? Understood? Can I unpause them?